Thank you for watching my station. My name is Ram Hotep, broadcasting on behalf of 13signsastrology.com. Doing this video quickly on something that has been talked about and is very popular in the metaphysical community. But I get a lot of listeners, a lot of new listeners that have not been properly educated in metaphysics and spirituality, because a lot of these people are just now getting out of religion and just now really getting their minds free. So I want to talk about something that a lot of you may already know about, and I've kind of touched on in other videos, but I want to go more in depth here. And I want to talk about thoughts becoming things. Thoughts becoming things. Now, this is a subject that most people got familiar with when The Secret came out a few years back. And when The Secret came out, it really popularized this whole concept of thoughts becoming things. Now, many people that were into the metaphysics before The Secret came out, they already pretty much knew about this concept of thoughts becoming things, because this basically was a concept that was extracted from the universal laws or whatever. And there's like 7 universal laws or whatever that I cover in another video I did on the Kybalion. So for those of you that are interested in knowing about the universal laws, look up my video I think it's called Universal Law and the Kybalion or something like that. But it's definitely called the Kybalion, I think, in Universal Law. But did this video a couple months back for those of you that are interested in learning about that. But thoughts becoming things and the law of attraction kind of ties into universal law, and the law of attraction is actually a universal law itself. And this is basically, the law of attraction is the basis of how your thoughts become things. Now, believe it or not, if you look around your surroundings, wherever you're at listening to this video right now, I want you to look around, and you look around and you see everything around you is a physical manifestation of your thoughts. Now, all the people that are in your life, your contact base, all of these people are a physical manifestation of your thoughts. And the process of thoughts becoming things kind of goes like this. Whatever you think about, the majority of the time is going to come back at you. It's not like you just kind of like close your eyes and then you send out a thought, like boom, you send out some type of telepathic thought, and then it automatically comes back at you like, oh, I'm here. Like it doesn't work like that. The way it works is that the majority of your thoughts, or whatever you think about the majority of the time, kind of like shapes your reality. And the different aspects of your reality are based on what you think about the majority of the time. You attract those things. So you ever kind of experienced, say for instance, you bought a car. You bought a car, right? And before you bought this car, you never seen this car before. Like, for the most part, you might have seen it 1 or 2 times, but you never seen this car before. But then as soon as you buy the car, then you notice you start to see this car like all the time, like just all the time. I don't care what kind of car it is, for the most part, you start to see this car all the time or whatever. And you like, wow, like I'm really seeing this car all the time. This is strange or whatever. Like, how come before this I didn't really see this car or whatever? That's because that's an example of your thoughts becoming things. Another example of this is for those of you that have converted to a new religion, or if you have switched religions or religious school of thoughts or whatever. And say for instance, before you were a Christian, and then one day, you woke up and you decided that you wanted to become a Buddhist. Now, before this, keep in mind, when you were a Christian, you didn't know any Buddhists, you didn't know anything about the Buddhist system or anything like that, and you didn't really see anything in relation to the Buddhist doctrine. But as soon as you decided to become a Buddhist, now all of a sudden you start meeting Buddhists like random. Just, you meet a Buddhist out on the street, or you see something about Buddha on a television program or something like that. Now all of a sudden you found this restaurant that's basically Buddhist owned or whatever, is owned by some Buddhists, and you just start to just see a lot of stuff about Buddha and Buddhism based upon your conversion to it. That's because now you've been programmed with the Buddhist program, and your thoughts became those things. So that's the basis of how it works. Now let me talk about the next level to this. Now when they put out The Secret, and the reason why The Secret got so popular was because For one thing, it was designed for it to be popular. We know anything that happens in the Matrix doesn't happen by coincidence. We should know that by now. So when The Secret got popular, it was popularized and got so popular for a reason. And the reason why the powers that be made The Secret so popular was because they were actually using that as a tool to warn you about what's getting ready to happen. Now, they didn't tell you this, what I'm going to tell you, but basically, once the quarantine is lifted on December the 21st, 2012, and I have a video about that, you can go in my catalog and check that out. Once the quarantine is lifted on December the 21st, 2012, the quarantine is kind of like a psychic shield almost, and a bubble. And the way the quarantine was designed was like this. It was designed to where no outside beings that were outside this realm or sphere of Earth could communicate psychically, telepathically with human beings. Human beings were basically put kind of like in like an isolated bubble, or it's like an isolated shell. Like human beings were isolated. And that's what the quarantine is, or whatever. And once the quarantine is lifted, this psychic bubble is lifted. So now, not only, and I talked to you about psychic self-defense, so you should watch my video on psychic self-defense. So not only can beings send you thoughts, see, that's why you need to watch my videos on psychic self-defense. I put those videos out for a reason, because I'm preparing you for what's getting ready to happen. Not only will beings send you thoughts, you got to question your thoughts now, because you don't know who's sending you thoughts. But then watch my video on psychic self-defense to better understand that. But this is the part on your thoughts. Now your thoughts will come back at you as things a lot quicker. You're not going to have to think about it as hard as you used to. You're not going to even have to be programmed as much as you were programmed to be able to create these thoughts in your reality. And not only that, but you're going to see a lot of new things come into your reality and a lot of new situations that you've never experienced here in this reality, because the quarantine is going to be lifted. That's the key to this here, ladies and gentlemen, is the fact that the quarantine is going to be lifted. So a lot of new information that you never dealt with, you're going to have to decode this new information. A lot of new light code transmissions are going to be coming at people, and we're going to have to decode this new information. And this is going to cause a lot of new things to come at you based upon your thoughts becoming things. So this is why The Secret was so popular, because these beings wanted to warn you about what's coming. Because once the quarantine is lifted, this is serious. I mean, whatever you think about is going to come at you a lot quicker. If you think of always in a depressed state, and you're always in a state of survival, and you think that you need, say for instance, you think that you need a 9-to-5 job to survive and take care of you, you're going to be locked into that dimension, that state, and it's going to get even darker and more harder for you once the quarantine is lifted. So that you think you're depressed with your situation now, wait until, if you keep that same depression and those same depressed thoughts, wait until the quarantine is lifted. When the quarantine is lifted, people are going to go deeper into states of depression and deeper into states of isolation, and they're going to fall deeper into states of lower energy in the lower chakras. They're going to fall deeper into those realities, those lower chakra realities. So thoughts becoming things is going to work two ways. If you really want to get yourself out of the situation, you have to begin to think not just positive thoughts. I don't even like to just even say positive thoughts, because anybody can say, oh, I'm going to think positive, I don't want to work a job no more, so I'm going to think positive and I'm going to have a business. Nah, it doesn't just work like that, because the way it works is like this. In our realm, since our realm is based on negativity, for the most part, negative things are created and manifested a lot. It takes less, like you can think about negative things less for minimal amounts of time, and create those negative realities based upon you thinking about positive things for more time, put more energy into positive things. You might not really see the positivity manifest, if that makes sense to you. So say for instance, you might think about, just for a few moments, like on a negative thought or whatever, you might think about how much you hate your ex. You might think about how much you hate your ex. That's for the most part, that's a negative emotion. Hate is a lower emotion from the lower chakras. That's what I mean by negativity. And your ex might just call you. You think about it, you know what I'm saying, and you might just put a thought into it, versus you might put a thought into how much you would love to have a business, but then you wake up and you don't have a business. So that's kind of like what I mean, like that's what's going to be like going on. So in order for you to create this new reality for yourself, It's an amazing time because you can't actually change your situation in this time or whatever. It's an amazing time, but you have to make the majority of your thoughts become positive or to reflect the reality that you want to see for yourself. So say, for instance, if you really want to get out of your situation in the Matrix, you know, like you might not like what you're doing in the Matrix, and you really want to change that situation, you're going to have to program yourself into thinking about a new reality. You're going to have to program yourself to do this. So I'm going to give you a brief little exercise to do to help you with this situation. So say, for instance, you really want to start a business for yourself. This is what you always wanted to do. So you're going to have to program yourself to do this, because it's going to take more than you just thinking about it random thoughts is what I'm saying. You're going to have to basically, first, you're going to have to use sigils or symbols. So you're going to have to create a symbol or a sigil. This is what I want you to do. Something you create it out of your mind, and you draw it on a piece of paper, and whatever the sigil is, and this is going to reflect the thing that you want. It could be any symbol, though. It doesn't have to necessarily be the symbol that reflects. Like, it doesn't have to be like, say, for instance, if you want a house. It doesn't have to be a house on a piece of paper. It could just be a symbol that every time you see it, it reminds you of that house. So you take that symbol, and then I want you to, every day when you wake up, you're going to do a brief meditation every single day, just like prayer. You're going to look at this symbol every single day when you wake up and before you go to sleep. You're going to look at this symbol, and it's going to remind you of your goal, and you're going to stare at it and just meditate on it. And whatever you think about that comes into your mind, I want you to write that down. Whatever comes into your mind every day, and do this every day. So that's one thing you're going to do. Now, the next thing you're going to do, we're still talking about if you want that house or if you want that job or whatever. You have your symbol. Now, the second step is you're going to put up pictures in your room, in your house, wherever you're at. You're going to put up pictures that reflect or that remind you of that thing. Like pictures, like say for instance, if you wanted a house, you're going to put up pictures of nice homes. And that's going to remind you of this nice home that you want. So every day you're going to put up pictures of these things, and that's going to help you to think about these things. Now, I know a lot of times when we get to work, we kind of forget about the things that we want or whatever, because we're at work, and we getting around all these other negative people, and they might get you depressed and get you down. You kind of forget. So this is what I want you to do. You're only going to have to do this for 21 days, and it's going to be locked into your mental, keep in mind. So when you go on break at work, I want you to, instead of going to smoke that cigarette, or if you can't stop smoking the cigarette, in addition to smoking that cigarette, I mean, I can't believe I'm saying this, but hey, people sometimes have habits. So in addition to smoking that cigarette, or if you don't smoke cigarettes and you go on break, instead of you sitting down and spending all your time eating food, I want you to sit down and read over the things that you wrote about in your morning meditation about because remember I told you in the morning you're going to stare at the symbol or the sigil, and you're going to write down your thoughts every morning. I want you to read over those thoughts in the morning, whatever you think about. I want you to read over those thoughts in the morning, and then you're going to do this as a ritual every day when you go on break. You're going to read over the thoughts that you wrote down in the morning. And basically when you go home at night, you're going to do the same thing. You're going to stare at the symbol or the sigil, and you're going to write down some thoughts. And then when you wake up in the morning, you're going to write down some more thoughts. And then when you go into work, you're going to read over all those thoughts. Or when you take a break, or just throughout your day, you have to take time to do this. You can't forget to do this, because this is going to help you. This is a ritual that's going to help you to be able to bring into reality those things that you want to see for yourself. And what you're doing is, in essence, you're making your own magic, because you're programming your mind to be able to think about whatever it is you want the majority of the time. So now the majority of your thoughts are going to be on that thing. So you're going to start to see situations come at you that's going to help you to get to whatever it is that you wrote down in your mind. And I want you to do this. And once you do this over and over again, I don't know how long it's going to take you, because it's based on your positive energy. Now, if you were to change your diet and to stop smoking cigarettes and stop doing a lot of negative things, I promise you that your goal will manifest itself a lot quicker. Stop going to these fast food restaurants that are killing you. Stop doing this stuff, because it's killing your positive energy. You need a lot of positive energy in order to create a positive goal. It's more negative energy already around you. Fast food restaurants, cigarettes, drugs, alcohol. You already got all this stuff around you, so you need positive energy. This is what you need. You need to harness positive energy, and the way to do this is really, you should like try to cut out a lot of the negativity, like bad diet, just anything that's lowering your energy. You know the things that are lowering your energy. Those of you that tune in to me know that I talk about energy all the time, so I've told you things that are lowering your energy: bad diet, improper sex, improper breathing. But if you change those things alone, those things will help you. So you're going to do that. You know what I'm saying? You're going to program your mind all the time to basically think about the things that you want all the time. So I don't care if you had a bad day, you're going to still do your ritual. You're going to still, I don't care if you had the worst day in the world. Don't let the negative energy hold you down. That's the whole point. The negative energy wants to hold you down. So don't let it hold you down. So you're going to go and you're going to look it over every day, whatever you plan. You're going to keep looking it over. And you can have anything that you want. That's basically what I'm trying to tell you here, and that's what this whole ritual is about, to show you that you can have whatever you want. Now, what you want to do is, the last thing I'm going to say is, don't start off with something like really big, that you don't believe in yourself that you can get. Start off with something like, that's kind of like reachable, but not like something that you don't have right now, but it's in reach that you could possibly get. Start off with that. So then once you get it, then you'll see that what I'm saying works. Like, don't write down something all big or whatever, knowing that in your mind. Like, I know a lot of times we're like, well, I'm being optimistic. But remember, it's a lot of negativity. Anytime you create something, I've talked about this before too. Anytime you say you want to do something, you're going to be faced with the equal and opposite reaction that's going to challenge you to try to stop you from getting whatever it is that you want to get. So if you say you want $1 million, that's cool, but you're about to face $1 million worth of opposition to get there. So you have to ask yourself, do you have enough energy? Are you disciplined enough? Are you in shape enough to be able to face and challenge that $1 million block that's going to come at you? See, that's what I'm trying to prepare you for. So don't start off with something big. Like if you want a house and you know you don't even have a job and you're homeless or something, don't start off and just say you want a $3 million house. I'm not saying it can't happen. I'm not trying to be negative. I'm just trying to help you to have a victory first. You want to have that victory first. So start off with something reachable. You know, it might not be in your sphere to get it right at this second, but something that's close. You're close to it already. You start off with that. You know what I'm saying? And then you work your way up or whatever. So if you're homeless, you know what I'm saying? I hate to say it like that, but somebody might be watching this video that's homeless. The spirit is leading me to say it. If you're homeless, start off by saying, I'm going to have shelter. And then you create sigils on how to shelter. Start off with that versus saying, I'm going to get $1 million house and I'm homeless. If you're living in a room, you know what I'm saying, don't start off and say, I'm about to move into a $3 million mansion. If you're working a job, don't start off and say, I'm going to start a Fortune 500 company this year. It might grow into that, say that I'm going to go in business and become self-employed this year. And then you work on steps. Then once you're self-employed, then say, I'm going to grow it to this level. Then say it's going to be a Fortune 500 company. It's in degrees. So I'm not telling you can't get to the ultimate big goal, but you want to be able to first beat the obstacle that's going to come at you to try to stop you from, you know what I'm saying? It's going to happen because it's the law of opposites. So anything that you say is that you want to do, it's going to be something to come at you to try to stop you from getting it. So you want to overcome that first. And then, you know what I'm saying, once you get that victory, what that is going to do is going to help you to secrete positive endorphins or positive energy in your brain or whatever. You're going to secrete all of this chemical. It's like basically a chemical that is produced in your brain. I don't know the name of it, but it's the same chemical that is secreted. Like if you were to win a baseball game or a basketball game or a football game, when you win those games, it's a chemical that's secreted in your brain. And this chemical basically is like, people become addicted to it. And this is the same chemical that they actually use. They patterned this after crack cocaine was patterned after this same chemical, believe it or not. So this chemical that's going to be secreted from your brain is going to get you happy. So now you like all positive and stuff. You like, you're on fire now. So then now you set up another goal. Once you get that, you're like, okay, now I'm about to get this. You know what I'm saying? You set up another goal, and it's like walking up steps, and you just keep meeting these goals, and you become addicted to the positivity or to the positive thoughts. But then, so every time a foe comes at you, boom, you just knock that foe down. So every time you say you're going to do something, something comes at you, you be getting stronger, and stronger. You're really interfacing with aspects of yourself or whatever. Like, that's all you're really doing, and you're building up your own chi and your own spiritual energy. So this is actually, it's even spiritual benefits from what I'm saying. So yeah, start off with something small, do the little ritual I said, and I guarantee you will be successful. I'm going to get up out of here. Until we meet again, I'll say peace.